Welcome to the Buddy Buddy Show. I'm your host, Anthony, and spoken I have.
And I'm Jacob Marks, and hey, buddy. Oh-ho!
That's actually not that bad. I hate to say it, but it's not that bad.
It's my one impression.
The only thing you got going.
It's my only actually good impression is a very high-pitched Mickey Mouse.
You were a tenor.
Hell no. I am a baritone. There are some notes. One, my balls are already dropped too much.
All right. So, Disney. If you're watching the video version, you could see that at least for half of the team here, decked out and all Star Wars. Got my Star Wars ears on because we are going to talk Disney, but not just Disney. It's Disneyland, the park in particular. Fortunately, I don't have too much merchandise other than Star Wars, so I'm all of Star Wars today. So I am a big Disney, or what they call Disney adult.
Accurate. I would say Disney-holic, Disneyphile, Disney warlord, Disney obsessed. Yes.
I was going to ask you, what would you define or classify as a Disney adult? But that sounds like all those adjectives are your definition of a Disney adult. Am I correct?
Very much. I would also define, because here's the thing. You're not my only friend group that goes to Disneyland on repeat. I have other friends that are very Disney adults. I would say you go the most, though.
Thank you.
I think some people are more obsessed about Disneyland as a whole. They have more like Disney merchandise. But you, sir, I've never seen a person make that trek further than you and more harder.
I appreciate that.
That's not a compliment. Why would that be a compliment?
Because Disneyland is amazing. That's why. So for those who do not know what a Disney adult is, I have the Wikipedia definition on my phone right here. So a Disney adult is an adult who is a devout fan of what is related to Disney. Common hobbies of Disney adults include visiting Disney theme parks, collecting Disney merchandise, and streaming Disney Plus. Now, see, when you put it like that, it's just a regular person who likes something.
But define regular person here.
But then, it continues. BuzzFeed has described Disney adults as a polarizing fandom that receives scrutiny and ridicule from others. That's what BuzzFeed says about Disney adults.
Accurate.
It is very accurate. I say haters. So what we're gonna do today, we're gonna talk about Disneyland. I actually haven't been to Disney World or any of the other theme parks. We're gonna just talk about Disneyland.
Wait, I've been to an actual Disney park before you have?
Yes, we'll be going to Disney World next year.
Damn.
Yeah. So we're gonna just talk about Disneyland. I'm gonna talk about my tips and tricks, my hot takes, and just kind of have some fun. I'm sure Jacob here is gonna try to intervention me out of my love for the Disney parks. So
I actually was initially thinking that I was going to do that. Ultimately, I'm going to take this episode as a chance to not only learn, but to just ultimately, accept the cruel reality that you are too far gone.
I don't know if that's a nice way of saying that you've given up and you believe in my love for Disney, or
it's also a sense of that I love you, buddy, in terms of your hobbies, your stuff. They're all valid. They're a little weird. I'm just gonna get this out there that the whole Disneyland going there, because there's nothing I think necessarily wrong with all of the different fandoms that Disney can have all inside its conglomeration.
Walk your line, my friend. Be careful.
There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with the actual fandoms at all. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that doing the actual trek and all the money, all the time going to the parks, on a very consistent basis, not just every once in a while, but a very consistent basis. That's where definitely I would be more of a Disney casual. You are a Disney adult. Yes. I am a Disney casual. And I'm not saying that you are wrong in any particular way, but there's definitely like a wavelength, like a brain wavelength, where I'm like, I love the Mickey. I love the ears. I'm not the one wearing it, though.
Yeah, and I'll get into that in a second because I'm not a fan of Mickey Mouse, actually. Yes. Yes. But yes. But I'm gonna start with you. So it's been a minute since you were last at Disneyland. So when was the last time you were there at the parks?
I believe that was 2019.
2019. So what?
Or actually, when did the Star Wars that Star Wars land?
Galaxy's Edge.
Galaxy's Edge. When did that come about? What year was that?
That was 2018.
Yeah, so that was right like 2018, 2019.
So you've been to Galaxy's Edge
once, yes.
but you have not been on Rise of Resistance though, because that opened later, right?
Yeah, no, I haven't been on that one. No.
Okay. All right. So, and then how would you describe that last experience when you were at the park?
Well, it's kind of interesting because I kind of define going to Disneyland in two camps now. Because of course, when I was a kid, I absolutely loved Disneyland. That is something that those were great memories. I'll always cherish them. I got amazing little photographs of that. But ultimately, Disney as an adult now is in two categories. One, going with my friends that are maybe not necessarily physically fit, but they're fit enough for Disneyland and they want to power through every single freaking ride, every single freaking thing. And then there's going to Disneyland with your friends that have children.
Yes.
Two separate wavelengths.
It's two.
Completely two different separate wavelengths. And when I last went, it was actually with my wife's parents, which was actually nice because we were down there for a convention, down there for a business thing. So we ultimately went with just kind of oh yeah, we're here. Why not just go to the park and have fun? So that was actually a difference than going to Disneyland with, say, someone like yourself or with our other friends who have kids. Because I would say that it depends on your cup of tea. Because if I know that for my wife and I, we are of the mindset where it's we're casuals. We do not need to hit up every single ride. We don't need to hit up every single thing. Because the times that I have done that, I've literally gone out cursing Disney. I've gone out cursing the teacup ride. I've gone out cursing, all of my favorite Disney characters. I'm like, I wish I knew how to quit you. That sort of stuff.
So okay, and that's good. That's good to know. So my job here today is to help educate you and to make your next trip, which hopefully is us together, more enjoyable. So back when I first started to go to Disneyland, my first trip was when I was 11. It was a surprise trip. My mom's like, pack a bag, and then woke me up early the next morning.
Wow, that is some Disney magic right there.
And they just said, get in the car. And then we show up at the airport. It's my first time on a plane too.
Oh damn!
And I'm terrified of heights. I don't remember the plane flight because I think I blacked it out. But we got to the airport. She showed me tickets to Disneyland. It's like, oh snap! Which is really cool. But then since then I went for the school trips for bands, choirs.
Yeah.
And then it was only recently that I became an annual pass holder because that's something I always wanted to do. So
yeah. Please go through the actual the realization that you want to go to Disneyland so much that you will get an annual pass holder. Because what even is that?
Annual pass holder it's called a magic key now. You're a magic key holder.
Oh, magic key.
Magic key. I waited in a virtual queue for 24 hours. Almost 24 hours to get that key the first time around.
You went with more effort to get that magic key than most people get for an iPhone.
It was hard. Let me come back to that because I'm going to answer your question real quick. So when did it change? It's before, a few years before I was got the magic key. So before I became an annual pass holder, a few years before that, I really started to get more into Star Wars, and Marvel got bigger and bigger and bigger.
Now, would you have is your love for Disney really only tied to the fact that Disney absorbed Marvel and Star Wars?
No, my favorite ride is neither. My favorite ride is Indiana Jones.
Okay, well, yeah, that is.
So, but it just kind of kept growing as the IPs grew. And then I knew I wanted to get an annual pass, and so I remember I was when the pandemic happened, when they reopened, I was in line virtual queue for like almost a day to get tickets for that first week of reopening.
Damn.
Which was, by the way, amazing because there was no one there. I had every vehicle, every boat, everything to myself.
I remember you texting me so many pictures.
It was no one. I had everything to myself. That was magic. That was the magic.
I think most people, if they were able to go to Disneyland and there was minimal people there, they would also consider that magic.
That was, yeah. And so that's what I really like. I want that annual pass, whatever that pass was going to be. And so when the Magic Key happened, and I got in line, the virtual queue, and I got it. But as I've had the Magic Key, I've learned some tricks, some do's and don'ts. Because I used to be that guy you were talking about, that going rope drop to close. You get to the end of the day, you can't move. Next morning, you're like, what the heck happened?
I feel like that's the true marathon. Like, if most people actually wanted to like train for a marathon, they would just go to Disneyland and try to hit up every.
And there are Disney marathons. I want to go to Florida to do their Star Wars marathon, but I learned, like, I was usually just do 2 days at Disneyland, and so I was going constantly. I was getting my 40,000 steps a day. Anyone who went with me didn't anymore after the trip.
Yeah.
Because I was that guy. I was at every ride, go 2 days. But becoming an annual pass, me and my girlfriend, we decided 3 days, 3-day trips, 3-day trips. Because what happens in 3 days, you can strategically plan the days with time, so you don't have to be there all day. Like, for example, now, like the first day we're there, we try to rope drop at least the first 2 days. Rope drop, because you have
like at the beginning of the day, like the park opening.
So the park opens at 8 a.m. So you try to rope drop, right?
Oh God.
You try to rope drop because you have about 3 hours, from 8 to 11, 3 hours before the families really get there.
Accurate.
So like, if you start in DCA, so California Adventure, when I was there, I was there last weekend. When I was there, I rope dropped DCA, and I did almost all the rides, and it's also the Food and Wine Festival, so I had several different things of food, all before 11:30 when it was time to hop to the next park. So you can get all that done in a few hours, then go to the other park, and then you can then you gotta be strategic. Then what I do the lightning lane. So I budget my time. I do the lightning lane, which is like what Fast Pass used to be.
Yeah. So let me get this straight. You're able to go through an entire park in
DCA is not that bad.
So like in around 3 hours, and then like, what's your record? What is like your absolute record in terms of just like how many parks you've been able to like hit?
Well, it's only 2 parks. It's DCA and Disneyland.
Okay, that's right. How many? But
how many attractions?
How were you able to go to like every single attraction?
When I was there the past weekend, I did everything I wanted to do. I don't do every single ride because like I don't like every single ride.
Ooh, that's gonna be.
So I did all the ones I want to do, all the big ones, my favorites. So I whenever I'm there, I do rope drop. I hit all my favorite ones at the park I start with. Hop to the next one, get lightning lane, and strategically plan out my lightning lanes rides for that next park.
You got all this more figured out than people like study for their SATs.
Yeah, and then but here's the thing too, because there's 3 attractions that are a la carte, which means they are separate lightning lanes that you get to pay extra for.
Holy crap!
So
see, this is where it gets me.
So Rise of Resistance.
It's these hidden costs. Like, I would think that somebody.
It's not hidden.
Well, I know it's not hidden, but it's kind of one of those things where it's like, generally like my rule is like for video games, I generally try to avoid any sort of like, buying of like VC, any virtual currency, like buying extra stuff.
Yeah.
And I guess that holds true in Disneyland, where I know there's like of course you can always get this extra stuff. It's open.
Yeah.
But then I'm just thinking like, is that worth it?
Yeah. See, I'm the same, but for me, especially this last trip I did solo, for me, I'm just buying food. So I can budget the extra like lightning lanes into my food budget because I'm moving around so much. I'm not buying so much food. I'm budgeting properly because the lightning lane's about 20 bucks for me for Magic Keys. And then so Rise of Resistance, the Star Wars attraction, probably the best attraction there is in the world. What's the word? Immersive.
Yeah.
It's 25 bucks. If you want a lightning lane for Rise, it's 25 bucks by itself.
Wow.
So it's just as much as the whole lightning. So Lightning Lane has all the attractions except for 3. And then Rise of Resistance by itself, if you want a lightning lane, is the same price as the cost for all the other ones combined.
I feel like even churches and other like, religious stuff, even they wouldn't be like.
It's worth it though, because Rise is usually like 90 minutes or so.
Oh goddamn.
Like yeah, and then the other Radiator Springs, so the Cars ride over in DCA is usually about 15 bucks if you want to buy Lightning Lane. But that one you can also do single rider. Single rider will get you on just as fast, if not faster, than Lightning Lane, as long as you don't care about being with your party. And then the third one, the new one, just opened last month, was as Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railroad. It's becoming just as popular as Rise. Usually about 15 to 18 bucks a la carte for Lightning Lane.
So, buddy, and I'm not going to say that this is like a question for a later like intervention speech, but just curious, just wondering, how much money do you budget usually for just a day at Disneyland?
About 130 to 150.
And that's on top of the ticket?
Well, the thing with when you have a Magic Key, you can go whenever you want because you have one price. You can do like pay a lump sum or do monthly payments, and then you just go whenever you want to. Basically, go other than some blackout days. So,
got it. But in general, besides the Magic Key and that annual cost,
so I don't pay for the park ticket because I already pay my Magic Keys.
But you'll still at least reserve $130, $250 a day.
150, about 150 a day. Yeah.
Okay. Continue.
So, if you manage your time, you do rope drop. You could, if you do Disneyland too, you can hit a lot of the rides. Like when I start in Disneyland, I always start with my favorite one, Indiana Jones. Then I hit that stretch of.
Why is Indiana Jones your favorite?
It's the most fun. I don't know why. It's the most fun and that queue. I feel like Indiana Jones, the queue is the most immersive queue.
I would agree. I mean, there's only a few rides that I really like still remember, even like since I've gone recently. There's only like a few rides where I can still remember like the rush of being a kid. And I think that Indiana Jones is one of them. Mm-hmm. But it's also interesting because I think that I've seen more kind of weird, not weird people, but I've seen a lot of weird interactions in the queue for the Indiana Jones.
Yeah, there's a few things you can actually interact with, like the spike or the well, like you can actually interact with.
Yeah.
So I hit that first, usually always, and then I go to the Haunted Mansion. I go to Pirates and Big Thunder Mountain. So I hit those 4 within the first hour. And then from there, usually I go to Tomorrowland, Space, Star Tours. Then I go maybe hit Matterhorn as I'm going to one of the big ones. So I have like my map. That's me. But what we learned is 3 days because you do rope drop the first day. You go like 10 hours. You can do like a 10-hour day, not a full day, 10-hour day, and you should be able to hit everything you wanted to hit within that day. Next day, again, 10 hours, not a full day. You're not going to midnight. You hit everything you want. Third day, here's the big one. Third day, you can do rope drop, but your third day is your day where you just like hit rides casually. But what we learned, that third day, that's our big food day. That's when it's like now hit rides as we come, enjoy the food. It's kind of walk. That's all the least amount of steps we get is the third day. Because now we're just like, okay, we hit everything we want day 1, hit everything we want day 2. Now it's the big ones we want today, and just eat food, relax, do some reservations, and all that kind of stuff. So 3 days is always, you want to do 3 days.
You want to do 3?
That at least 3. At least 3.
Okay.
And you don't have to do opening to close. You do 3 days, you can hit everything you want to do without sacrificing the knees and the ankles and the back. Because when you get back from Disneyland, you're usually like, I have to go to work tomorrow, and I am more tired than when I left.
Yeah, buddy. So I feel like usually I've realized as we've been doing our episodes, I realized that I can talk a lot. Surprisingly, I never knew this about myself, but
I did.
Yes, but in general, I know that there are things you're very passionate about. So I've let you hold your court, as you will, for the time being.
Thank you.
You're welcome. But so I just want to point these out as facts, and there's no tea, no shade, no judgment.
Yeah.
I am just wanting to just ask this. Does spending $450 for 3 days, average, plus the Magic Key annual, plus all of the, I'm not going to say exhaustion, because I feel like at Disney Adult, you kind of you don't really care about exhaustion at that point. You'll later feel it later on when you get back to your everyday normal stuff, your works or your side hustles, what have you. But ultimately, is all of that first traveling down there
Worth it?
It does that all seem worth it in a vacuum for the actual overall money pit that Disneyland is?
Absolutely. In a time period where depression and anxiety is on the rise and all we want to do is escape, it is absolutely worth it. Because those 3 days allow me to not worry about anything else.
Truly
just away.
And you know what?
And you can't, and that's one thing I've learned this year, really, really important this year, is you cannot devalue the experiences that take you away from negative things and put you in a positive space. You cannot put a price on that. And for me, Disneyland, whenever I go there, that's my escape from reality. I'm there, I have a great time, and I'm just a kid again. So that will always be worth the price for me, no matter how many wrong things they do or how much they jack up the prices. That are always going to be my escape. Because they keep jacking the prices. I'm like, oh man, I'm still going, but man, it's annoying. But when I get there, I don't think about it. The lightning lane, it's a lot of money if you do all the lightning lanes. But to be able to walk on the rides and just kind of have fun and not wait in lines and just experience the moment, you can't put a price on that. It's absolutely worth it.
Well, buddy, after that very touching answer, I just have
stepping off my soapbox now.
I have 2 conclusions. 1, I'm happy for you, and 2.
I'll get ready though. Get ready because I'm about to get my hot takes now.
I'm about to ask about some hot takes, but I just want to say, buddy, that I respect you. I think that you truly, I'm happy that you have this vice to, basically, be with. I'm just also going to be completely and utterly frank. I'm
crazy, yeah.
Your words, not mine. No, but you've sold me on it in terms of I've already been kind of sold on Disney adults in general. That's why I don't truly hate people that are so obsessed with Disney. It's just weird that I always feel that Rachel and I, we're the weird ones.
Yeah,
we're the weird ones that are we're that third day that you described. That's just us the whole time.
So nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, we're definitely just the people that are cool, we're here. How can we just enjoy ourselves and not spend a lot of money? Which I think is, I know, the antithesis of going to a place like that, but also I think that's the one thing I respect about Disneyland is that they're we don't care, we have your money.
But I mean, what I always say, it's best to spend on experiences than on That's why I don't buy merchandise as much. Like I do have all my Star Wars gear on, so I do buy merchandise here and there, but I don't buy them at the park because it's not about that. It's just about the experience.
So you're saying that you don't buy a lot of merchandise,
not at the park,
just in general.
not at the park.
That's not really a great answer there.
I don't care. That's my answer. So hot takes.
Actually, I'm going to before we get into your hot takes, I have a couple of questions that I wasn't necessarily wanting to ask you, but I'm curious at this point. I kind of want to play a game of underrated or overrated with you.
Oh, yeah.
Disneyland edition.
Okay.
Okay.
Come on.
So, in no particular order. Mm-hmm. Dole Whip.
I got a big hot take for you. Mm-hmm. I've never had one.
What?
That kind of desserts. That's not usually my thing. So I actually never had one.
That also flies with me, or at least that also makes sense.
You know me. That Dole Whip is not up my alley.
Well, it's not only up your alley. You still have the appetite of a 12-year-old. Like I forget.
I mean, that's everything at the park.
Even then, most kids are going to be like, "Oh yeah, let me try a Dole Whip."
Yeah. So I have never tried it. So next.
God, you are such a doll. Number 2. Okay. Meet and greets.
I don't do them.
So they're overrated?
No. I remember my first time there. I had my autograph book. I had all them sign. I was so mad because I only wanted one autograph. I couldn't find the character. This gets my whole. I'm not a big fan of Mickey Mouse because I'm a Donald Duck guy.
Oh.
Deep down, I'm a Donald Duck guy.
I'm a goofy bro.
I could not find Donald Duck to save my life, and that's the only autograph I wanted. But no, especially now that there's so many characters now. They got Mando there now with Grogu. They got Boba Fett. They got so many characters, and it's great. The experience is great. For me, it's not worth waiting those lines. Mm-hmm. And I'm not an improv guy in theater. They're actors, the characters. So when they're like bantering, like me and my girlfriend, we met Spider-Man, and I was so nervous to talk to the character because I'm like this is not my thing, this is your thing, not my, and I'm like I get nervous and I'm like I don't want to banter. Give me a picture. I don't want to banter because I don't want to make a fool of myself.
Oh, I wouldn't even banter. I would just hug Spider-Man. Silly.
Well, you can't really just hug him. Spider-Man. He talks. He doesn't stop talking.
Oh well,
that's his character.
Doesn't matter. I'll talk and hug at the same time.
So,
but
it depends who you are. But they're not overrated or underrated. If you like character meets the rated, I don't like to wait in the lines because I get nervous.
Totally. I just love some of the stuff I've seen on social media because like the Gaston actors are
the Gaston actors they're really good.
They're always incredible.
Remember the one the video of the guy doing the one-handed push-ups?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Gaston's like, "Come on, man, what's going on? You challenged me. Come on."
Dude, that guy's biceps. I mean,
well, to be fair, there's that video that Gaston was doing half push-ups. They weren't full one-handers.
Oh, snap.
So I'm just saying.
You're gonna get called out, man.
I know.
Okay, and then final overrated, underrated. Mm-hmm. And be honest. Mm-hmm. Disney California Adventure.
It is it's getting better. I would say it's underrated because it's getting better.
Why? What was wrong with it to begin with?
Well, the original California Adventure was a mess. Yeah,
because I've never been, so this is all news to me.
The original California was a mess. It was all based around celebrities in Hollywood, and it was weird, weird attractions. But now they have better theming. They got Pixar Pier, Avengers Campus, the Cars Land. Cars Land is probably my second favorite land out of them all.
Cars
Land. That Cars Land is great. The Radiator Spring is great, but also they have 3 attractions. They have Radiator Springs, they have Luigi's, and they have Mater. So that the Luigi and Mater are kind of the smaller kid rides, but they're still a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So they have 3 rides that are fun, and it's great theme. And right behind Galaxy's Edge, Cars Land is probably the best themed land they have at the whole Disneyland Resort. But yeah, they're getting better. They might be adding the Avatar experience over there.
No.
So we don't know what
The
that
James
is.
Cameron effect.
We don't know what that is or what the experience is, if they're going to actually build something or not. But if they can build something to have Pixar, Avatar, Marvel, Cars, that's really going to give that land a boost.
Yeah.
Also, my second favorite attraction, my second favorite ride is Soarin'. I love Soarin'.
I have no idea what that means.
Soaring over right now, it's soaring over California. Sometimes it's soaring over the world. That the paraglider ride.
Oh, like actually up in the air, like fully.
We need to go to Disneyland ASAP.
You're buying.
Sure. So yeah, underrated.
Cool. So apparently you have some hot takes.
I do have some hot takes. So my last trip I did solo. The first hot take is solo trips are amazing. Don't be afraid to go on a solo trip. You can go at your own pace. You can kind of dictate what you want to do. You can change things as needed. So it's a lot of fun.
How is that a hot take?
Well, because some people I don't want to go by themselves. They want to have a group. They feel like the group provides the magic of the trip.
But
you can share things with people. You don't have to. So it's an opinion. It's opinion. I just want to start with that one, a light one, light.
Yeah, but well, let me take it one step further. People need to just go to things solo more.
Yeah.
Like, go to the theater.
Yep.
Go to the movies.
Yep.
Go to a bowling alley.
Yep.
Go to laser tag.
I don't play laser tag with randoms.
Oh, you're missing out. Go to mini golf. Go to whatever you want to do.
Play mini golf by yourself?
Oh, dude. Hell yeah.
That's the most depressing thing ever.
Oh, freaking hater. God.
So, okay.
But in general, people should definitely solo more. Because, I mean, don't get me wrong. If you have somebody that's like absolutely wants to do everything together, you do that. But also, like, I always love whenever I get a chance to kind of like do stuff, solo.
I'm just gonna jump into my bigger ones. It is what it is. So kids.
So parents, I hope you're listening.
I get it. Disney itself. It's a family thing. But if your kid is too young to remember the experience, then the trip is not for them. It's for you.
How old is too young?
Well, if you can't remember the trip.
But hey, some kids are like.
For us, like for me and my girlfriend, what we decided, we have kids. If we have to stroller you or carry you, you're not going.
Yeah, I would just say, like, put a number on it. I would say you have to be 5 years or older.
If I have to carry you, you can't go. That's my personal. If I have to carry you, you're not going.
Now, what happens though? Like, say like a kid is like 5 or 6, and they're like, they're totally excited. You don't need to carry them, but they get tired in the middle of the day.
Then I gotta carry them. No.
So you're just gonna leave your kid there?
No, they're not going.
You're just gonna leave your kid?
I'm gonna take
defenseless.
No, I'm gonna train that kid, and if he doesn't pass the test before we go, he ain't going.
Okay, hypothetically, what would this test be?
I don't know. You've seen the military. You gotta do laps with a potato sack on your back. I don't know.
Wow.
Until I see you averaging 20,000 steps in a day for 2 weeks in a row.
Dude, most people don't do that in a single freaking week, let alone a freaking day.
Hey, that is what it is.
Wow,
this
you're going to deprive your kid of Disneyland, for like 18 years until they finally get to that point.
No. Eventually, like probably like 10 or so, they'll be able to go. So it's not that bad. Also, at the same time, I want my child to be able to appreciate. If you're super young, you don't appreciate the experience. You're running around.
Speak for yourself. I remember being 6 years old and
For the most part, kids don't appreciate being there. They don't know what it really is and how much it costs and all that kind of stuff. They don't appreciate it. Which leads me to the next one. Next one's for parents. I get kids are kids. I worked with kids as my first job. I get kids where like they do their own thing and it's hard to wrangle them up sometimes. But as a parent, if you're unable or unwilling to gather your children and discipline them when they're acting up, none of y'all should be going.
I feel like that's the same as like any sort of like,
any sort, but
event.
yeah, absolutely. Because I was there and had these kids in line constantly. These little kids kept running into me, bumping into me, and the parents was like, "Hey, could you please come back here? Come back." Parents, I know everyone's different, but if you're in a public environment and you're not willing to, if you're just gonna let your kid run around and be disrespectful to other people, none of y'all should be going. I said it.
Headline: Childless person berates parents on their own parenting style without knowing the consequences.
Oh, I'm sorry, but it has to be said. It's all about etiquette. Like, kids are kids. Kids will be kids. But as a parent, it's up to you to teach your kid what's right and wrong. If you're just gonna let your kid do wrong things and push people around, run into people, and they don't apologize, you don't apologize, you're not teaching the kids proper behavior. I get kids are gonna do that kind of thing, but at least teach them that don't be careful, don't do that, don't run into people that say you're sorry, stuff like that. Teach them what's right. If you're not gonna do that, don't go.
Basically, Anthony wants you to traumatize your kids at Disneyland.
It's not traumatizing.
He wants you to be having to like work.
Oh, stop it.
On your vacation.
Oh, stop it.
Final hot take, buddy.
Final hot take?
Final hot take. I can only take so many of these spicy hot takes.
I will do. I'll do two quick ones.
Okay, 30 seconds. Go.
Okay. Rapid fire. Autopia makes no sense anymore.
Whatopia?
Autopia, the car ride in Disneyland.
Okay.
You still use gas for Tomorrowland, where we already have electric vehicles. Why are we still using gas vehicles when pollution?
Environmentally conscious. Continue.
The Matterhorn is not a backbreaker. Everyone says, "Oh, my back, Matterhorn, my back." It's not that rough.
Damn,
Stop it.
Sounds like they had a great time.
It's not that bad. And then last one, Knott's Berry Farm did this. Chaperones for school trips. Because the most rowdy kids are the ones who are on school trips, like 11, 12, 13, 14.
Yeah.
Who venture off on their own. I have stories about kids who was like, I was on Big Thunder and two of these kids were behind me and I was getting on. They were still on. I was about to get on and they pulled the whole, "Oh my God, where is it? Acting like they lost something just to stay on again. And then when the ride goes, like, screaming obnoxiously, not because of the ride, just to be obnoxious.
Yeah.
Chaperones. So, yeah.
Cool. Yeah, so
I have a list. So if you want more of this, I got plenty. I can go for days and days and days.
Yes.
Just go on for Niles and Niles.
Please tell us more about your mild takes. Yes.
I feel like the parent one was hot. A little spicy. Maybe not ghost pepper, but some really hot habanero.
It'd be like a 3 on the hot one scale. Anyways, buddy, any other, because basically I know that you haven't talked about Disneyland enough. So
I know.
So please, anything else you want to talk about Disneyland?
It is a magical place. Have fun, but do be respectful of not just your fellow peers who are there. Be respectful of the cast members who go through a lot while they're there. The cast members, the characters. Be respectful of everyone there. They'll try to make it a magical experience. You want to have fun. They want to give you a good time. Enjoy it, and plan wisely. Is that it? Is that good? Is that good? Is that good enough for you?
You know,
Is that good enough for you?
I at least know that you are a respectful Disney adult. Mm-hmm. Or at least I can tell that, you know, it's like I'm going to be very interested to see later on when you go to Disney World for the first time and, you know, doing the whole Epcot thing, doing the whole, like, all that stuff. I'm going to be curious of, like, what your true, like, how fast you can go through everything. Like,
Oh, we got a plan already.
oh, you got a plan? Because I'll tell you this. When are you going? Like, what type of season?
Spring.
Okay.
I know. But we're not going to hop. We're going to do one park a day because we've never been.
Probably a good idea, because I got to say, I went to Disney World in the summertime.
Did it rock your world?
Oh, buddy. I had sweat in places I never knew about.
Oh, yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm ready for that.
Yes. So, buddy, where can the people find us?
Oh, I'm doing this one. All right. The people can find us at YouTube or on YouTube. I'm trying to be like you. On YouTube.
Shut up.
On Instagram. And we're on the talk. We're on the TikTok now. At the Buddy Buddy Show.
TikTok, it don't stop.
It doesn't. Not for us. So y'all, do all the good things. Like, subscribe. You know what it is. And we will see you all next time.
Next time, I'm going to get out of this Disney hole.